I only heard what you heard.
Yeah, so I believe that it's like $239. If you tried to get it online, it's like $349. So you can register right now for the event. You can register right now for the hotel, and you can book your hotels. We have 100 rooms blocked on Friday. We have 300 rooms blocked on Saturday. After those discounts are gone, which we paid for to get those, you will have to pay the full price. So we're just trying to give the people an immediate opportunity to get those, booked and get that done. So you will want to stay at the hotel. Some people live locally and they're going to be driving in and driving out, but a lot of people, even who live locally, are going to want to stay there. So the event is from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. is the training. That is business casual. So if you wanted to come in your golf attire, golf shirts and slacks, and be comfortable and really get training, we will not do a long lunch break. Instead, what we will do is we will have the food, whatever you call them, the concession stands open so that people can eat food during the training. And we have so much training. I mean, gosh, guys, we are accomplishing so much daily. The number of referrals that we're getting every day, and we really haven't launched this. I mean, just let's be clear that we've not really been aggressive about trying to get businesses in yet. We're just really getting our sales staff trained on how to do this, and they're doing a tremendous job. And so the leads are going to start pouring in, but we're getting the international leads, and we're getting these accounts set up. And so the training will be everything from how you basically refer a business to the compensation, where we're going to roll out a very aggressive compensation plan for businesses here. Right now we're still in our pilot. We're giving the service away for free right now. I mean, just think about it. We're giving an app. We're giving, paying for the NASGO platform. We're, giving them all these services for literally $1,000. It's less than what it costs to do it. So eventually we will charge, $3,500 to do all of this, and there'll be a nice commission. The commission, just to give you an idea, will be significant. It'll be a 25% commission, and then the traditional overrides into the existing hierarchy will exist. So I'll go over that as we release it. During the first 100 businesses, we're offering ShareNode tokens at the rate of 500 tokens for the $9.95 referral, or 1,000 tokens for the press release, which is additional money. So this is all coming together very, very nicely. We're overwhelmed in just activity. We're trying to get the new site up. It was not live yesterday, as you know. Just was on the phone with Yvain, the person who's building the whole platform, and he says he's just finalizing and putting something uploaded. As soon as he uploads it, I'm going to review it. I want to make sure that everyone's hierarchy is in place correctly, since in the previous site there was some WordPress issues that were taking place. So it looks like everything's going to be coming around, and then tonight this website that I'm showing you will go live, where there'll be a link for you to purchase your ticket, and there'll also be a more complete agenda. We'll talk about all of the different leaders that will be speaking. Tim Moore, Edna, Tony Reyes, some of the leaders that just really did a great job, and many of the leaders that we don't know what they're going to do. Look, I'm really looking at, we're starting our company, at the October 27th event. So we still got another, 6 weeks of an aggressive pre-launch. I'm looking to see what's going to happen with the leaders right now. We're going to have some people that have been on the sidelines waiting for this technology to go crazy. You'll be hearing from them. So I don't want you to think that we've set the agenda. If you do great in the next 30 days, you will be speaking at this event for sure, no question about it. I will be setting the final agenda 2 to 3 days prior to this event, because I'm looking for the stars of NASGO Nation, the stars that are going to really, come out and do some incredible things. And we've got a lot of people that, hey, if you're a host, you got to keep on mute, please. So we're really going to just do some amazing things at this event, and I'll give you an idea. Our 2 entertainers that we have so far, Michaela, and they'll be playing their songs. And what we'll do is we'll have their manager come up and talk about how they're using the token to promote their business. We'll have Jimmy, who is Jafar's manager, talk about how we're using the token for Jafar to promote his first album. I mean, this is crazy stuff, what we're talking about. You know, I mean, they're saying he's the next Michael Jackson. And, of course, he wants to have his own identity, so he sort of likes the compliment, but he's very careful to make sure he has his own identity. He'll be performing his own songs, okay? And so there's just so many incredible announcements. You will be previewed Amico at this event. We're really not going to roll out Amico until everything is 100% ready. And so the ShareNode community will become very valid over the next 2 months, because we'll be using the ShareNode marketplace to feature our businesses. And then as the Amico platform comes live, then you will be able to start doing incredible campaigns. But we just have so many businesses, so be careful when you talk to businesses that you're not presenting that they're going to be able to use the tokens to do campaigns immediately. The campaigns that they'll do for the offers and discounts and how they'll use it will happen after October 27th event. They'll be able to use their mobile app, and they'll be able to talk about the token, and they'll be able to collect people that want to get the token, and they'll be able to actually know what their token is and have that token registered. So, and a press release will come out. So imagine if we have 100 press releases from 100 businesses go out at the same time, and I'm going to actually show a press release right now, one that came out yesterday. So think about the press releases. Now, I hope that you're using iDecide, because we added the most recent interview with Jafar at the very end. And I will tell you, if you don't go through iDecide often, regularly, and really understand every word of that, because 90% of the questions that people ask, you can answer. You answer it by saying the exact words that we use in the iDecide. Your iDecide presentation, it's your training. You should watch it 10, 20, 30 times, because 90% of the questions, I'm always shocked when people have a question and I'm going, man, that is so clear in our iDecide training. So I just want you to understand what we did, and I'm gonna pull this up real quick. I'm going to pull up iDecide for NASGO. Now, when we go live with the new site, you will not have to register for iDecide, okay? So you will not have to go to this site because it'll be API'd in. But if you're wanting to do any marketing at all, if you want to tell anybody about NASGO or ShareNode right now, you have to use iDecide, okay? We do not want you to try and explain, what, mining is and what, how the ShareNode, token works. We want you to be able to actually go to the site and do this. So you've got to go through and register. Click here to register your free account, and you must be a ShareNode community rep. So you must have your username right here, and then you'll be able to do that, and you'll be able to use it. So I'm going to read some of these questions. So just to confirm a couple of these questions, so somebody booked it last night. It was $229 was the price. So thank you for confirming that. I appreciate that. And right now it says yesterday that the price was $9.95 and $12.95, I believe, is what he announced. Now, to be quite frank with you, it's supposed to be $9.95 and $15.95, and that's what it will be on Monday. But if someone takes advantage of it because Butch, one of his staff members, wrote the wrong price, he just said he'd honor that price. So it's actually $9.95 and $15.95 if you want the press release. So truthfully, you can't get a press release for $500. So, just think about it. It's a good deal. So someone says, I already had an iDecide. Yeah, of course, you want to create your new iDecide account using NASGO, of course. because you're using the NASGO presentation. So, of course, you're going to open a new account because you need it to link back to NASGO. You need it to link back to your specific site. Someone's saying they asked for a press release 2 days ago. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, so let's go to this. Actually, I'm going to take some comments right now while I pull up a website. I have a hard time talking and working at the same time. So if someone wants to make a question or comment right now, I'm going to stop my screen so I can pull up a question.
Yeah, good morning, James. This is Gary. Go ahead, Alta.
Hey, Gary. I'm driving, so this is a little tricky for me, but you really don't open a new account with NASGO because, with IDSide. Of course, I was a member with IDSide. Oh, look at all these cute kids. I was a member with IDSide. You use the same email. You can use everything the same. There's a section where you click on where it adds NASGO. I'm sorry, I'm not being very clear, but when all the people that already have the NASGO, maybe you can explain even better, Gary. They can use the same email. They can do everything the same. They just have to click a little button that brings them to the NASGO.
You put in your username so that it lands on your site.
Right, exactly.
Awesome.
Yes, what I was going to mention was something that James mentioned the other day, and that is on Saturday we did a presentation for Tony Reyes' group down here in San Diego, and we went through the IDSide presentation right there on the screen and just to show to everybody that was in the room how to duplicate this business. And it's really as simple as meeting face-to-face, meeting online with someone in a webinar setting or in a room filled with people, and just going through the presentation and just stopping along the way and asking for their involvement. Ask them the questions that are posed to them through the IDSide presentation. So it's very interactive, and it can be in as much of a conversation as you want it to be. And that's the beauty of this, is that it engages that conversation. And as the topics come up, something might come to your mind that James said in a presentation or in a training, and you can repeat that as long as it's appropriate for what you're talking about. And so it's a great way to really get across the idea of what NASGO and what ShareNode and what Amico is all about, because it's all prompted on the presentation to talk about it. So it's a great presentation, and you don't need anything else at this point. I think everything is right there. So that's my thoughts, James.
Perfect. In fact, I don't know if Tim Moore's on the line. I was going to go up and do a meeting for Tim and Edna's group last night, and my wife was sick, and I had to take her to the doctor, so I couldn't go. And so Tim ended up doing the presentation. And, you know, I got to tell you, if you do exactly what Gary said, which Tim did, he just called back and said, man, it was so fun, it was so great. Guys, I don't care if you're the worst speaker in the world, which Tim is not. I'm just telling you that anyone can do this. And I'll just give you an example. Tony Robbins had a problem. His problem was he couldn't duplicate himself. So he had to travel, like 300 days a year to go do his Tony Robbins seminars. Now, I know Tony Robbins. He was my, neighbor. His office was next to mine, and we became friends, and we worked together, and we did some seminars together. And, duplication was a big issue for him. But one of the things he did to solve it is he created content, and then he would have his leaders actually administer and, share the content. So they would explain a concept and then show Tony training on it. And he was able to duplicate himself. That's what we're doing. So what we have is with iDecide, you have all these mini little topics. And so if you do a training, like Joanne will do one tomorrow. I think Carol's doing one on Friday. They do one every single week. They go and they get the Mimi's Cafe. They have everyone pay for their own lunch. It doesn't even cost them anything. They bring a screen. And all they do is they just put up the iDecide, and they welcome everybody, and they play the first clip, and then they talk about it, and then they play the next clip, and they talk about it, and they play the next clip. And if you'll do this, you'll take it takes about 10 minutes to go through iDecide if you skip through it and don't hit every single link. If you hit every single link on iDecide, it's going to cost you, or excuse me, not cost you. It's going to take you 20 minutes. But if you talk in between, you're going to spend probably 30 to 45 minutes. And if you literally train on, ShareNode afterwards, it could be a full hour. So this is very easy. Everyone who has any desire to grow their business should be doing little localized meetings, and you should not be using any content at all, not even my training. These are not approved contents. This is not an approved prospecting conversation. This is a training for training purposes only. And we'll have other, leaders come on for training. You cannot use training for the public. The public can only see stuff that we've approved, which is our iDecide presentations, the NASGO.com website, or the ShareNode.com website. That's it. And that's all you need. It's absolutely unbelievable. So if anyone was at Tim's meeting last night and they want to comment about that, I would love to hear it. Press star 6 to unmute, I believe. Unless we're muted, which we possibly are.
James, sorry not to have an observation on Tim's meeting, but I do have a question. Can you answer it?
I was at the meeting last night.
Okay, I'm muted, but oops. Okay, let me pull up this press release here. I'm trying to grab it right now. Okay. So as you know, that Eric just finished his speaking at the United Nations and speaking about social impact. And here's another press release that just went out 14 hours ago talking about landscape for cryptocurrency. And, I'll just kind of highlight. Panel presentation with cryptocurrency pro Eric Tibbetts. Tibbetts is co-founder of NASGO, a fast-growing decentralized blockchain. I'm going to stop right there because I saw some of the text. People are asking, what blockchain are we using? Guys, 90% of the questions you get from people, they're asking a question. They don't even know what their question means. They don't even know what a blockchain is, okay? So, Bitcoin or Ethereum is a blockchain. Of course we're not using them. We are our own blockchain, as Ron and some of you commented back. And so I found that it was interesting. When I first got involved in cryptocurrency, everyone was asking me questions. And later I realized, man, most of these people don't even know what they're asking. And so, I will tell you the truth right now. If you go through iDecide like 4 times, you know more about blockchain than most people do. And if someone wants to agree with me, comment on the chat line. It's crazy how much we're teaching people just by being on these 7 a.m. calls. So, number one, if you really listen to what we're saying and you can answer 90% of the questions, any question you can't answer, you shouldn't be answering anyways. You should literally be going, you know what? Let me, if you're interested in getting a business, let me refer you, and you put them as a referral into our system and let one of our experts handle it. If you're not sure of the question, go upline and find one of our leaders that is more experienced and do a 3-way call. That's how you learn and win in this business, is you say, I'm not sure, but let me find. So you have a responsibility to find somebody in your upline that is really knowledgeable. So ask the person who referred you, hey, if I have questions, who's the person I should be asking? And they'll tell you. I'll tell you who that person is. And you get that person's cell phone, and by then you'll be an expert. But 90% of the answers are right there on iDecide. Okay. Application that is hastening the availability of DApp applications for businesses and consumers with a high focus on advancing the power of tokenization to support humanitarian and philanthropic goals. It's unbelievable. Together with the platforms, do something athletic and crowd management NASGO is helping celebrities as rising record artist Jafar Jackson, son of Jermaine Jackson, a nephew of Michael Jackson, to tokenize his upcoming album. So, guys, these are all things that you can use to give credibility. Okay, and then of course it talks about the segment on Cheddar. It's unbelievable. It goes on in this article, and it talks about it talks about you. It talks about the group of people that we have that are marketing. It also talks about our new technology that we just brought on called, I don't see it right here, how we just started something called, our black box, and how, we're actually helping businesses, get started. So it's just unbelievable, everything that's coming together. So let's see. It looks like we have some comments. All right, so somebody's showing the link right there. Thank you, Clint, for grabbing that link. Good. All right, so guys, with regards to, the price, some of you are asking about that. Remember, we still are showing on our current site the $10 increase in U.S. dollars. Some of you are asking questions about that. I want to just make it clear. Look, we're pre-launching our token, and as a pre-launch of a token, as a utility token, we can sell the token for whatever price that we choose to. And we choose to increase it at 10 cents right now, but we will move to increasing it by 10% of an NSG once we move to our new website. And the reason why we're doing that is because NSG will start to move as NSG becomes on an actual exchange. So I'm not going to give you dates on the exchanges that it'll come up. Eric and Steven are traveling for the next 3 weeks. They're going to multiple different countries and speaking on multiple different international platforms, and they're meeting with some of the international exchanges to finalize the details of those transactions and get that done. So their focus is on that. So you're going to see the price of the token continue to increase, and we did an original internal schedule, and we're actually working on a I don't want to call it a white paper because it's more of a roadmap, but it will be exactly what a lot of the crypto people want in explaining some of the details. Over the next few weeks, we'll start to roll out more details specifically about the actual staking returns and all the details of that. We're going to give you more details about our servers, our third-party servers, and how we're utilizing them. And then we'll actually start staking these tokens that you've been buying. So you've really been in a pre-launch. You've been buying tokens and been putting them in your back office, and then you'll start seeing these tokens earn rewards as we start to actually go live with the with the validation and the servers. We certainly have servers right now that we're running the S&P token, but we need many more if we're going to be able to handle the number of businesses that we're going to be bringing on. So think about it. We have a goal to do 3 major things. One, bring on more computing power, more server power, and so we're bringing on people to purchase those stakes of those coins. Secondly, we're going out and we're attacking the business market to bring on businesses so that we have thousands of businesses, and then we can provide all of the server power for those businesses using the token. The second thing is we'll be able to do is, the last thing is we're bringing on people. We're bringing on people onto the Amico platform, and they'll just come in on the droves, and they'll come in for free, and they'll use our peer-to-peer exchange. They'll connect with businesses, and some of them will actually join ShareNode as well. And we'll build a massive, multiple community, not just the ShareNode community, but the Amico platform. So, question is, does a business need to be an individual member of ShareNode? No, they do not. They do not need to join ShareNode. So if you refer a business and they just want to be a business, they can simply just pay the fee and they can be listed as a business. And I think we'll have, lots of businesses that come on that are not members of ShareNode. We'll have a lot of people that are members of ShareNode because, A, they want to refer other businesses and they want to own the tokens and stake the tokens. And so you'll get more more knowledge about that. So with regards to purchasing the ticket, we have our merchant account back end that is going to go live today. And so I believe what we're going to do is we're just going to send out an email to every single person, which we really haven't done. We've sort of been going slowly as far as our communication with the organization. But now that our site is going live and we have everybody's emails, we are definitely going to get out a major link to everyone so that you can purchase tickets and that you can refer other people. So, guys, we had hoped that the back office would go live last night, but there were still some things that were not, syncing up correctly. And so even this morning I was on with some of the programmers early, and they're making their final update. And so as soon as it is able to go live, right now you cannot do anything. You can't sign up on the old site, and so you'd have to be, patient for another day. With regards to nonprofits, they cost us the same, and so there is no discount for a nonprofit right now because we're actually operating at a loss. So a nonprofit is getting a massive discount because instead of paying $3,500, they're getting it for $995. So maybe we'll maybe we'll keep nonprofits at that price at some point. I don't know. You have to understand that during our pilot, let it be a pilot. Let us figure it out. There's a lot of questions that people ask. Well, what if they have multiple locations? Those are all good questions, and we're learning and we're figuring those out together. And you're part of that. And so we're just trying to make the best decisions. So commissions our plan is to pay commissions on Monday. And the reason we're not going to pay them the first day is we've got to make sure they're correct. Okay? We have a lot of data that's come in from multiple different sources. And so what will happen is first the information will go in and you'll be able to see your hierarchy. Then secondly, you'll be able to see your commissions. And we'll be asking you and your leaders to check and make sure that your commissions are correct. We have no interest in paying out incorrect commissions. Is it possible that one will be in there incorrect? Absolutely. So just email us, info@sharenode.com, and we have a full-time, customer service person here at our Laguna Niguel office. We have multiple salespeople in our
Unmuted.
Office.
Muted.
We're adding a lot more. And so we also have people all over, we have people in Florida, we have our CTO in Florida, we have, developers in China and developers here, and just seems like people everywhere, Poland, Texas. But our customer service for ShareNode is right here in Southern California. And so if there are issues or there are questions, we then will get back to you. So info@sharenode.com. And look, the reason why we want to wait until Monday to pay out is that gives us a whole weekend and a few days to just make sure everything's correct and paid out correctly and then get onto a sync. No one wants us to move more over to the new site than me because I want to get back to the focus on leading, building, training, running the business the way that we all intended to. And we're going to go leaps and bounds. But thank you guys for being patient. Everything's good. This says, are we planning on opening offices around the world? We're not planning on opening offices at all. So, we have a corporate office that we have, for doing administration, but we're looking for you guys to do presentations around the world. And you don't really need an office. You can simply do a presentation at a hotel, at a golf course, anywhere, at a restaurant. There is no reason to have an office at all, I don't think. We can do everything online. We're a virtual business. Our tokens are virtual. But if you wanted to have an office, of course, go open an office and have an executive office for you to meet with your own people. But it will not be a NASGO office, and it will not be a ShareNode office. It'll be your personal office. So it'll be Jim Smith Incorporated, and maybe your marketing cryptocurrency opportunities, and ShareNode and NASGO are two of the things that you run out of your office. But we're not going to have corporate offices, no franchises, nothing like that. You're independent contractors offering the ShareNode opportunity and presenting the NASGO platform. Those are good questions. So question is, on your S&P website, if you ever want to sell your tokens, can you? The answer to that is that the S&P token is a utility token, and the way that you would sell a token if you wanted to would not be back to us or through an exchange. It would be through our peer-to-peer platform exchange. So, very quickly when Amico goes live, we will also open the peer-to-peer exchange. Now remember, it was only 10 years ago that there was no way to sell stuff other than a garage sale. Do you remember that? It wasn't that long ago. And now you can sell anything you want online on a peer-to-peer platform such as Craigslist and eBay. And I'm going to tell you that the peer-to-peer crypto exchange will be as big or bigger than the traditional exchanges. Many people will prefer to do that. And so it'll open up a marketplace for tokens, including utility tokens. So it's not just the S&P token that will be available there. Let's say that I have Disneyland tokens but not enough. Okay, let's say that I have Magic Mountain tokens but not enough. I'll be able to use the peer-to-peer exchange, and I can basically sell or purchase anything I want with whichever those two people agree to. So if I want to sell the S&P token, and currently the S&P token is being sold, by ShareNode at $10, and I want to sell it for $8, I'm sure there'll be a buyer for that because many people will see that as a discount. Even if it's a business that's looking to use that for business services. So we're going to have all kinds of different services that you can use the ShareNode token for. So you can purchase advertising and marketing. And a lot of you are like, well, I just don't get that. Well, just think about Google. How much does Google do in advertising per day? And how much does Facebook do in advertising per day? And remember, it wasn't very long ago that they weren't doing any advertising. And now you have businesses that would prefer to advertise somewhere other than Facebook. And I promise you, Amico is the future. So, you're involved with this because you see the future. You're a friends and family early adopter of this. So you're here because you see a potential market for a ShareNode token at a higher market value than what it is. We have the challenge of we have to get the price up quickly because we already know that we'll have 100 to 1,000 businesses before the end of the year. At the very lowest, worst case scenario, which I don't believe in, we'll have 100 businesses by the end of the year. Well, that means that if we take our token and we use the market price that we have determined at 10 cents per business, well, that's a $10 token. Okay? If we hit the 1,000, which I think we'll reach, we're at a $100 token. Okay? And that's 100 actually of the ShareNode of the NSG. So it's actually pretty crazy. So So somebody's asking here about the NSG coin limited to 500 million coins. Actually, NSG actually offered 65% of their tokens into the market, and they did, I believe, 1.1 billion. So they did a little more than 500 million, NSG did. The ShareNode is doing 1 billion, and they're doing 50% of their tokens that we're selling on the market and making that available, 500 million tokens sold. We have to reserve tokens to pay, to use for businesses, to use for commissions, to use for incentives, to use for marketing, and we don't want to sell all of our tokens to people that are going to use them to stake the token. Actually, if you know staking, 50% is a typical number that people will use and allow people to stake the token. And then they'll do a maximum of amount of master nodes. So if you went to a master node community with using proof of stake, you'd realize that it's between 25 to 50% is the norm for the number of tokens that they'll stake, and it's more closer to 50%. Now, sometimes you'll see 65%, but that protects the token, it protects the value of the token, and it creates a staking community. And we're going to have a tremendous more server power needed for our token than any other token in the world. Why is that? Because our token is providing server power for not our own token, but every token that comes onto the ShareNode community, which could be 1 million companies. So you really have to think about that. You have to think differently. So many people want to have their knowledge be based upon what they learned in high school or college or last year in cryptocurrency. This year, cryptocurrency has nothing to do with last year, okay? We're in a whole new world, and we're building it. We're the leaders. We're the disruptors. We are the Ubers, okay, of this disruption, and so we're creating it. So don't be caught up in Bitcoin and what happened with Bitcoin. We don't care what happened with Bitcoin, and we don't care what's happening with Bitcoin, okay? what we're telling you is that there's a new game in town, there's a new blockchain in town, there's a new way to use cryptocurrency. Now, we're grateful to Bitcoin. We still use Bitcoin as a means to be able to, as a means to be able to pay for services, and Bitcoin's widely accepted, and it's a platform that I'm getting some questions that are actually good questions, but they're showing the lack of knowledge of our product. So I'm actually going to go to our website. So somebody just asked a question. It's a good question, and so I'm going to go to how to work section. So someone's asking the question. They're saying, well, how does it work that the merchant can pay 12,600 tokens? The merchant doesn't pay any tokens, okay? The merchant will never pay tokens. And let me explain why. When a merchant comes onto our platform, they are basically getting 1 billion utility tokens. And so when they get these 1 billion utility tokens, we then take back 300 million utility tokens, and we now have given them 700 million, which is plenty for them to promote their business, to create a ecosystem, to provide value, and to do whatever they want to do. If they want to give away 100 million tokens the next day, go for it. That's what it's for. Promote their business. Do what they want to do. If they want to hold back and, sell their tokens, so that they can, hey, buy our token and then you can use it for exchange, whatever they want, we'll train them how to do that. But what we're doing is we're providing the server power and the NASGO platform. We're all on the NASGO platform, and we have a new blockchain. So if we register ABC Company, this is a side chain, which is its own blockchain, by the way. So now we have a new blockchain that's on the main chain of NASGO, and it's using the NASGO consensus, and it's using a delegated proof-of-stake platform, and you can Google and read up on what these terms mean. But if you're using this delegated proof-of-stake platform, that means that a number of the delegates are being used to provide server power, and each delegate is providing and earning 50 tokens every 17 minutes of that sidechain. So if you do the math and you take 50 tokens, every 17 minutes, and you calculate how many tokens that is per month, it's actually 4,200 tokens. So why is it 12,600? Because we're providing 3 delegates per sidechain. So those 3 delegates are being paid out to every single person who's part of the ShareNode community, who is a staker of at least 1,000 tokens. And they're being paid out every single day, and they're being paid out pro rata as a proportion in the way that proof of staking works. So these are not tokens that come out of the business's bounty. These are tokens that are generated. And you say, well, how does that work? The reason why you're asking that question is you're probably not familiar with traditional blockchain technology. So, Bitcoin is not taking out of the current supply. Every 10 minutes, they issue 12.5 more tokens. And you might say, well, James, 12.5 tokens is a lot less than 12,600. No, it isn't. It's a lot more. Take 12.5 Bitcoins, times it by the average, times it by the price of the token or the coin. So if you took 12.5 times, let's just call it $7,000, I don't know, what is that, 200,000 or something like that? I guess it's $200,000. Well, we're not paying $200,000 out a day. We're paying $12,600 a day because each token has a value of $1. So now we might end up paying out more because we might put a company on there becomes more valuable than Bitcoin. Who's to say we won't? Who's to say that one of the side chains that we come on with might be, heck, maybe it's Jafar Jackson. Maybe Jafar Jackson hits a home run with what he's doing. Maybe his token's worth a lot. I don't know. Okay, I'm not making a prediction. I'm not making an assumption. But we're going to get 12,600 tokens for every side chain that's on our platform. And as we then announce a successful company coming on, we will then put that onto the ShareNode community. And you'll see it. And you'll see these blockchain rewards being added and being completed. And so this tokens that are earning are new tokens generated by the consensus of the blockchain community. And so, some of this explained in our little 2-minute. I mean, I want you to listen to every word. Play it 10 times, play it 100 times of our iDecide platform, because we actually explain it. And guys, I'm going to tell you, I don't know why, but everyone's missing it. This video right here, this 2-minute video, has so much accurate content in it that I don't think people are watching it. But man, it's only 2 minutes, but listen to every word of it. I don't play it on a webinar, because if you play it on a webinar, it's got a sound delay and so forth. But man, do your homework. Read every word that's on your website, every single word, 10 times, 20 times. This is your business. You have no idea how much content is in here, okay? And then we actually have, if you go down to the bottom, we actually have the links to some of our press releases, and we actually have links to our interviews on Cheddar as well, I believe, okay? So here's the street and so forth. There's so much content here. I'm getting just rocking with clients. So it looks like people are saying, James, you're right. Turby's late to the party. When will we get out? iDecide. I don't know. When are you going to go to what is it? iDecideforNasgo.com, and then just register your iDecide. So everyone has it. And right now, we probably need to be doing a better job as leaders communicating with our downlines who are missing these calls. But don't worry, we'll send out an email as soon as our new website goes live. It'll all be on there. So thank you, Ron. iDecideforNasgo.com has it right there. So you can hit that link, Turby, and you can be promoting iDecide every day, and it'll come right back to your website. Okay, I don't see any other major questions. If there is any others that I've missed, please share it now. So to answer your question with regards to our link for signing up for $99, I'm being told that'll be by the end of the day. And I wish I had it out today for you, but looks like it'll be out for the end of the day. As soon as I get it, I'll push it out to the leaders, but we'll put out an email from info@support or you'll receive an email from info@sharenode.com, okay? And all right. Someone's asking the value of 500 SP, so I don't know what that means, so I'm not going to answer that. All right. Anything else?
What is the link to sign up businesses?
What is the link to sign up for what?
For businesses.
The link to sign up for the businesses is evantage360.com. Somebody mute yourself. It came on really loud.
Could you repeat it, please?
Yeah, I'm putting it on the website. It's evantage360.com/NASGO. Okay? So I can pull that up if you'd like, because I think it's an important one. Let me do that. So when you go to this light, so Evantage 360, for those of you that don't know, is the entity that is actually doing all of the third-party enrollments for NASGO. So right here, we actually are putting your referral agent name, put in your referral rep, email, your, blah, 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 user ID, all of it's right here. And if you submit this, we'll get back to them, and here's the two prices here, $9.95 or $14.95. And so it literally has that up there right now. Okay? Great questions. Yeah, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to start, I was thinking that we would actually start doing 2 updates a week on an email. And I will tell you that, if we did an email on Tuesday and Friday, and we'll actually add links to these calls, so for those that miss them, they can get on them. And then what we'll do is we'll paraphrase all the most recent updates that came out. So we just brought on Colby. I'm going to assign him to run that task, and so he'll be taking all of the most important updates, and then the links on there will be there for the event. We'll be getting updates with you on new businesses that we brought on, and so you won't be inundated with emails, but you will get 2 a week right now, Tuesday and Friday, and we'll try and be pretty consistent about that, because it seems like there's always quite a bit of information that needs to get out, and then this will allow you to see it and listen. I would encourage you to stay live on these 7 a.m. calls as possible, but I know it's not always possible, and it's a lot of time. So this will help you with some of the key aspects on it. So what we're going to do is, for those that actually, this is really important, it's not the first people that buy a ticket for $99. It's not. I want to be clear. It's the first 300 people who get a hotel room will get an extra ticket for their spouse. So what we do is when you purchase a ticket and you purchase a hotel room, we're going to give you an extra ticket for your spouse. So it's not just be the first 300 people to buy a ticket for $99. So you're going to buy a ticket for $99, and if you have registered a hotel, we can see that. So we can see that, Jim Smith bought a ticket, and Jim Smith also purchased and registered a hotel. Why is that important? Quite frankly, because we want you to have a phenomenal experience. And I know everyone has a temptation to save money. They're like, well, I'm going to go to the Holiday Inn because the Holiday Inn is $179, and this is going to save me $50. It's not going to save you one dime, okay? The amount of money that you're going to spend transporting from one hotel to another, the heels that your wife or spouse is going to break, while she's walking from one end of the town to the other, it's just not worth it. Don't try and save money on this event. Stay at the event. This is your life. This is world class. This is you changing your life. So we're going to give you a gift, and if you're coming to the hotel and you're one of the first 300 people that book a room, we will give you a complimentary ticket for your spouse or partner. It's just our gift to encourage you to act quickly and do that. Once the 300 rooms are gone, there is no more promotion. Don't come to me and say, I didn't hear about it till late, my credit card didn't work, I'm not interested. I'm too busy. We're going to have a phenomenal event. This ticket price should be $199. So just, go with it. And if this helps you, great. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. We should be spending a lot more for that. So there is an extra ticket. It's not a free ticket. You must buy a ticket, and you'll get an extra ticket. So it's not like I got a room, so where's my free ticket? And we're going to check, did you buy a ticket? Yes, you did. Great. Then you can bring your spouse. So let's be clear. It's not a free ticket. It's a bonus ticket if you bought a ticket and you booked a room. So, and this may be something that I'll totally regret because it may be an administrative nightmare. But, so we'll handle it the way we can. Don't call us a week from now and say, where's my ticket? Give us some time to let all the rooms sell out. Then we'll have one list, and we'll say, hey, congratulations, and we'll send out, the tickets at that time. We're not going to, take calls on individual tickets. All right? Do both Friday, Saturday nights have to be booked for the deal? No. Probably many of you won't stay Friday night. You're just going to arrive on Saturday morning early, and we recommend you're probably going to then, but it just, we don't really care which night as long as it's one night. Maybe you're going to come in Friday and leave Saturday. That's up to you. And leave Saturday night late at 12 o'clock and head back to wherever it is you live. But, if you are staying at the hotel, I'd recommend staying Saturday because even though the event might get over at 10:30 or 11, you'll probably stay an extra 30 minutes taking photos, hanging out, walking the boulevard. You probably won't get done with your evening until 12, and if you've had any drinks, you shouldn't be driving anyways. So that's it. Thank you guys so much. Our hour is up. It seems like we covered a lot of things. I think that we're going to have the site up very quickly. Okay, anything else?
Yes, James, this is Terry. I just want a little clarification on what Alta correctly stated. For those with the ID site, those of us that were with the old company, we already have ID site, and those of us that are over 40 will recognize the analogy. If you had like an old jukebox, when you want to get after you put in your same login information, when you want to get the new NASGO ID site information, the presentation, you simply go to accounts and you put in NAS 101. This would, like an old jukebox, it would load the NASGO presentation, and instead of using the old presentation from the old company. And then you just do everything the same. That's how you get the NASGO presentation on the new ID site.
Okay, sounds good. Perfect. Thank you. And just because some people are challenged when it comes to technology like me, I think we're going to make it so that you don't even have to sign up. It's just an API, and it's just easy to use. So thank you, Ron. Anybody else? I think we're good. Okay, have a great day. See you at the top. Bye-bye.
This session is no longer being recorded.